So guys, it's been around 2 weeks since we did a pretty good actually DIY Raptor respray on the 300C. The car has been left again for around 2 weeks. I thought that was a right amount of time to leave it between actually spraying and giving it the first clean. Obviously, if you haven't watched the videos, we actually sat on the driveway for like 2 or 3 weeks prepping this thing up, and then got a professional at TW Body Repairs to actually spray this thing in Raptor paint. Subsequently, I have left it as is for around 2 weeks, done the daily driving, because that's what this car is, a cheap bit of fun, but a daily driver. But today we're going to see if all the paint actually falls off this thing, down to pretty much my my shoddy prep work. I think the spray itself is going to stick to the car, but the bits that I've prepped, we'll see, we will see. But as ever guys, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let's jump in the budget 300C, get down to JW Auto Shine, because they are now doing a drive-in wash. So I'm just going to rock up, get the car cleaned. And yeah, maybe asking yourself why I'm not doing it on the driveway and why I'm not sat here washing it myself. Well, I thought the first wash better be with professionals that actually know what they're doing, rather than me with some, you know, random, not a sponge, but, you know, some random stuff that I have in the garage, and letting a professional look at the paint, make sure they're doing, you know, the right job, leaving it to someone that actually knows what they're doing, rather than the complete novice the other side of the camera. Because again, this is the first time we're going to actually be getting this thing cleaned and seeing how durable the paint is, but how good my prep work was. In fact, if we come round, you can see how dirty the car actually is from just, again, daily driving this thing. On the front, we actually have a bird poo. It'd be interesting to see, because that's been there a couple of days now. It'd be interesting to see if that actually comes off properly, if it leaves marks on the Raptor paint. We'll come around the back and show you guys how dirty the back is. A lot of just tree sap and just various bits on the back of it from driving around. Windows are just, again, disgusting at the moment. Again, this is from like 2 weeks of driving this thing around, so we will see when we get there what they think, how this thing goes down, and whether all the paint falls off. To JW Auto Shine with the 300C. Just going around it with the guys, assessing paintwork and various bits, just to make sure we are all on the right page of this thing. I am slightly worried that my not professional ism is going to show real bad right here, because taking it to someone that actually knows how to clean cars, because I don't really know how to clean cars that well, and then going through the motions of the car you painted and prepped, the paint might come off. We'll see, we'll see. You never know. So the guys at JW Auto Shine are now doing a drive down and wash. So you don't have to pre-book this. You can just rock up to their Rookley site and actually get your car cleaned, which is what I've done today. I haven't actually said that I'm coming down or anything like that. We were talking about it before. You know what? We'll put that to the test actually. We'll come down, and as you can see, they have jumped straight on the car. So if you are Isle of Wight based or coming down to the Isle of Wight, this is the place to get your car cleaned. So fallout just gone onto the wheels. The fronts were really, really bad on this car, as you guys have seen. The brake pads are just chucking literally as much as they fancy at these questionable wheels, we're going to say. Like, that stuff is doing a fantastic job of just pulling everything off. So the snow foam's just gone on. It's actually sticking to the car, which is a surprise. Now, I know Raptor might be relatively durable and stuff, but I wasn't expecting the snow foam to cling to it as much, if I'm honest. it is going to take tons of just dirt, grime, everything off this. But it clings very differently than to what I've seen in the past from painted cars. It seems to be sticking in funny areas. Maybe that's down to us not having, you know, washed this, putting anything on it in a sense of, well, I don't know, anything. Polish. You're not going to polish it, I suppose, are you? But this is what it clings like, just in random areas. Really, really weird. Again, I've never seen or been around a completely Raptored car or seen one cleaned. So yeah, you can see patches where it's sort of holding on and other parts are just gliding straight off. They're just taking the snow foam off. This is the part where the first actual jet wash goes on the car. So this is like the deciding bit as to whether the paint actually falls off the car or not. Hopefully it doesn't, because like, it's a lot of work if the paint just literally falls off straight away. Thankfully it's looking pretty good actually. Surprisingly good. It's of course started raining because we're in the UK and that's just how things work. But next up, the hand wash though. That might be the point where you wipe and just the paint falls off. So after initial jet wash, I think we're pretty good actually. Nothing looks like it's fallen off. The Raptor looks like it's actually stayed on, which is fantastic. That was my biggest fear, is the first time you actually jet wash the car properly, it would all just fall off, but hey, we're actually looking pretty good. So they've just finished the hand washing again. Sorry, we are in a workshop environment. Look at the beading on this thing. I can't believe how much it's beading from Raptor paint. That is just insane, isn't it? That is impressive. I'm so glad that that's the finish we're actually getting from this thing. Look at it. It's actually beading on the front of it. That's so funny. And the best thing is, again, I'm going to say it, the paint hasn't actually fallen off yet, so we're actually doing really well here. I've actually, I think I've done something right for once. So impressive. It's actually repelling the water completely off the car, which is, again, something I wasn't actually expecting. I was expecting it to repel that quickly and that nicely.
Few inches later.
Now, as the SpongeBob little bit there has just told you, it's the next day, because it was, of course, chucking it down yesterday, because that's the UK and it's the summer and it rains all the time apparently. But the main objective of today's video was, will the paint fall off because we've washed this? Now, I'd like to think no. Doing this DIY at home maybe, and then maybe getting a friend to blow it over. Yes, you could have done this with cans. You could have done it very, very simply if you wanted to. Of course, this is the internet. I wanted to make sure we were doing stuff right this time round, and thankfully I feel like we've done a pretty good job on this one, because nothing's actually fallen off it, which is a massive win for me. All of this work, I was really worried that stuff was, you know, really going to show on the first wash. As you can see, I parked the car under a tree last night. It's already been pooped on. What a surprise. But in fairness, I feel like we have done the right thing here. We've gone down the right route of actually getting this thing broken down, taped up, as we should have this time round. I feel like it's come out really, really well. One of the things you'll actually notice in the videos is I've just taken this chrome strip off here. Now, I didn't actually know that this part comes off, but after some talking with other 300C enthusiasts, they have told me that you can actually pull this bit of chrome off, which is what I've done. Yes, it's exposed the blue underneath, but what we're actually going to do in a few videos time, when the stuff turns up, is actually just pinstripe a black line across this bit. It actually should break it up quite nicely between the black here and the black of the window. So, you know, something, maybe an afterthought on my part, yes, because I'm not going to get everything right because I don't know this chassis very well, but that's something that I'm going to do and show you guys in the not so distant future. What I'd actually like to do in the next couple of videos is break down costs, because we have, you know, of course, a lot more stuff to do on this car, but I would like to actually show you guys that this is possible on a budget. If you do want to build something like this, maybe buy a very cheap car and do something relatively cheap on the side, maybe it's a fun weekend car or as a daily for yourself, this could be the right way to go down. But if you'd like me to break down costs, please let me know in the comments below. I'll do a pretty much full video of actually showing you guys and explaining costs and what's really involved with maybe painting a car like this, buying it, dropping it, all that sort of stuff. But for now, I'm very, very happy. I know there might be a lot of people out there that aren't too pleased with what I've done to this car, but I think it looks pretty good, considering it was chrome and blue. With that, guys, I'm going to end today's video there. Thank you so much for watching. The paint hasn't fallen off. Fantastic. We'll see you on the next one.